All right, race fans, coming up next is the Texas Tri-Hulls main event here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Let's take a look at that starting lineup here in Texas Tri-Hull. Okay. All right, as they're coming down, it looks like on the inside of row one, that is the number 10 of Tanner Rinker. On the inside of row one, can he go back-to-back after winning round 2 in Shreveport? On his outside hip, looks like that might be the 13 of Grant Schubert, then the 69 of Cole Mullet Waring, and on the outside of row 2, the 26 of Briston Sherman. Or is that the 88 of Josh Wells? I'm trying to see here. I can't tell. No, that does look like it's the 13 of Grant Schubert. We're going to have a battle here as he drops the green flag, and we're under racing here in the Texas Tri-Hull main event here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. It's the 13 of Schubert on the outside, the 10 of Rinker on the inside, and they're going to go side by side down into turn 1. Will we have a collision on the opening turn? No, the 13 of Schubert sneaks by the 10 of Tanner Rinker, and he almost spins out down there in turn 1. The 69 of Cole Mullet Waring able to get by the 26 of Sherman and hang on to third. But the top two boats starting to pull away from one another. Those 4-stroke Mercuries on the back of those Glastron-styled Tri-Hulls with the roll cage and the decks on them here. We call them bumper boats at 65 miles an hour. Boy, what a great run in the first turn that was by the 13 of Grant Schubert. Oh, boy, we got them all wadded up. Down there in the corner, the 69 of Cole Waring, he gets run into, and he's got to circle back around. And, boy, that's got to be frustrating for the number 69 of Cole Waring, as he was sitting in third, and now he's going to have to watch the rest of the race from downriver here on the Mississippi.
I don't know how the rest of that fleet did not avoided that collision, because those guys were all hanging, looking straight at him. He was looking back at them, and, they managed to get around. With these Tri-Hulls, they can get their way through. And look at how Grant just goes flying out of turn number 1, followed by Tanner Rinker in the number 10. You know that Papa Jerry's sitting up there. He's like, go, kid, go.
Absolutely. Then rounding out the top 3, that's the 1 of Corey Walker, and then the 26 of Briston Sherman, and fourth, the 88 of Josh Wells in that Brondo, because it's what boats crave, sponsored machine. But it is all about Grant Schubert trying to extend his lead in the season standings, and the 10 of Tanner Rinker trying to get into the conversation for series championship after a win in round 2, moved him up into the top 5. Can he get up into the top 3? Because the 17 of Neil Marsh is sitting back in 6th position. It has been the worst weekend the dude has seen in over 3 years.
He's had to battle through a lot of traffic, even on turn 1 of lap 2. I watched him go through there trying to maneuver. He jumped on the backside of Grant Schubert and unfortunately had to let off on the throttle. But let's keep an eye out on our lead right now. That's going to be Grant Schubert in the number 13, followed by his buddy, I guess you could say, of Tanner Rinker. These two kids, and I will say kids, they are still young, started racing the Tri-Hulls in the early age of 14, and they have had so much fun. You know that they're bouncing around. This is a 20-lap final. I don't know how they're going to endure that.
And I think if the 10 of Tanner Rinker really right now, if he's thinking, if I were to jump inside of the brain of 10 of Tanner Rinker, he's like, all I got to do is stay with Schubert until we get to the back markers. If we can get to the back markers in the last few laps, I can pounce if he makes a mistake. But it just doesn't seem like he's got the top end as he starts to lose a little bit of ground from the 13 of Grant Schubert, who's out in front now, probably got about a 4 or 5 length boat lead over the 10 of Tanner Rinker as they go down the south end of the course in through turn number 2. Now, a nice move there. Oh, look out, Grant goes airborne, hitting a roller coming out of turn number 2. And that's the kind of stuff that if the 10 of Tanner Rinker can kind of pick up a little bit here and there and make up some ground, he might have a chance to knock off the 13 of Schubert. But look at the battle now we got going down there between the 12 of Jack Schubert and the 17 of Neil Marsh, as well as the 99 of Devin Brown and the 3 of Austin Terry battling in the back of the field here as they go down the south end. The mighty Mississippi getting rough here as we are 5 laps through, 1/4 of the way through this main event here in Texas Tri-Hull.
Got a great res, and we got a great view right now above Neil Marsh, and you can see how much these guys are getting slammed around, not only inside the cockpit, but just throughout this whole race. And we're going to see our leader right now. We lost a cowling on here floating right in front of us. I believe that's going to be Brown's. Yes, the 99 of Brown missing the cowling. Now, we talked about this when it came to Dustin Terry with the Formula Ones. Now he's got pretty much an open cowling and an open engine waiting for some water to get into there and make some electric.
Also a lot more air into that carbureted motor really to allow it to eat. But let's keep an eye on things. Look at 10 of Tanner Rinker's not going anywhere. He is pushing it to the limit to try to stay with the 13 of Grant Schubert. Why? Because right there, the 03 of Austin Terry, the 17 of the dude Neil Marsh, and the 99 of Devin Brown are those back markers that they're starting to catch up to It's going to be all about navigating the water around these drivers. Can they get through this first turn clean? It looks like the 13 of Schubert is going to go wide to the outside, and he better watch out because the 17 of Neil Marsh is not going to give him an inch. As the 10 of Tanner Rinker now looks to tuck it tight to the inside, but the 13 of Schubert smartly took the wide line, and he cleared all of them in a heartbeat. In less than a lap, he was able to get by all three back markers cleanly, especially the last two. He did it on the back straightaway, and that is where you want to pass people, is on the straightaways, because passing in the corners is a difficult proposition.
It looked like Tanner Rinker had some issues trying to get around rookie of the 03 of Austin Terry. He's able to do that. Now he's working his way past the 17 of Neil Marsh. So that put Tanner Rinker just enough far back that Grant Schubert might be sitting there saying, okay, I've got this clean. But now that Tanner Rinker has gotten around that back traffic, he's going to start to close that gap one more time and give him a run for his money.
Well, and now we got the 13 of Grant Schubert's looking to eye up his brother, the 12 of Jack Schubert. And I can tell you think there's team orders? Not a chance. Jack is not going to give him an inch. And that's the next moment where the 10 of Tanner Rinker's got to gear up towards, right? He recognizes right now, I've just got to run a clean line. Once we catch up to the 12 of Jack Schubert, can I be close enough to make a move on the 13 of Grant Schubert, our leader right now, who's come off like a rocket from outside of row 2, was able to get by the pole sitter, the 10 of Tanner Rinker, and trying to run this thing wire to wire.
We're just under halfway through this 20-lap final for the Tri-Halls, and with a great lead is going to be Grant Schubert in the number 12 JH Performance, followed by the Rinker Boat World of the number 10 of Tanner Rinker. And you look, Tanner Rinker's going to try and dive on the inside, but unfortunately caught a nasty roller going side to side. He darn near spun it out, and you're going to see our third place boat is sitting way back on the other side of the course. It's going to be the number 1 of Corey Walker.
And he better watch out, because the one of Corey Walker's got the 26 of Briston Sherman all over him, as Outlaws trying to go first and third on the podium here. But for right now, it's the one of Corey Walker hanging on to that final spot on the podium. The 26 of Sherman's got to duck back through the rooster tail. He goes wide to the outside. That Ray Bob seasoning sponsored entries slamming all over the shores of the mighty Mississippi as they go down into turn number 1 on the north end. Walker goes wide to the outside. Briston stays on his outside hip, trying to make sure he finds that clean water as the one of Corey Walker started to give up ground. And it looks like, oh no, the 99 of Devin Brown, you'll see him flash there. He's going dead in the water. He's really slowed down. It looks like that water might have gotten into the motor, Kay.
Yeah, I think that he might have taken a big gulp of water, not only him, but that motor, and it looks like he's going to make his way around the course. He might try and milk it through the rest of this heat, because if he can collect at least some points towards the end of the year, that might make or break if he's going to be able to take any positions on the high points.
Absolutely, and the 13 of Grant Schubert, we're back with him now. There's the 10 of Tanner Rinker. He has not gone anywhere. We have a fantastic battle. Oh, no, looks like the 03 of Austin Terry has pulled off the course. He had some steering issues yesterday. Looks like some more gremlins have popped up for the young 14-year-old out of Houma, Louisiana, and his afternoon is done. But it is all about Tanner Rinker and Grant Schubert as they are doing battle. And look at, sure enough, there's the 12 of Jack Schubert, and then the 13 of Grant Schubert and the 10 of Tanner Rinker. Exactly what I expected to happen. Jack's not giving him an inch, and that's allowing the 10 of Tanner Rinker to just go full throttle to try to catch the 13 of Grant Schubert as they're all over each other coming down to the south end of the course into turn number 2 with just 7 laps remaining in this 20-lap main event here in Tri-Hall.
Going out of turn number 2, it looked like Tanner Rinker just about went on the back end of Grant Schubert, and now he's just taking one gulp after another of the rooster tail being left by Grant Schubert. That's exactly what he wants to do. He's trying to blind his competition so that when he finally comes out of the rooster tail, he's going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm off the course. But it looks like Tanner Rinker is able to make his way around turn number 2 and around Jack Schubert. Now Josh Wells is going to be the key factor in this turn.
Absolutely. Coming into this turn, Josh Wells trying to stay on the lead lap. The 13 of Grant Schubert now goes into lane number 2, trying to keep that smooth water and try to find some sort of clean water out there. The 10 of Tanner Rinker is liking that inside line a little bit more in the corners, but that might be a strategy that he's going to have to switch up, because it seems like he catches them as they close or finish the straightaway, but in the corners, Grant choosing that outside line and the 10 of Tanner Rinker going tight to the inside is not working out for him. And just as I say that, the 10 of Tanner Rinker went out of turn 1 in lane 4 on the outside hip of Grant Schubert. So maybe he's got a little of our live stream in his headset as he's listening to our tips and tricks. But here we go down in the corner of the south end. It's the 10 of Tanner Rinker. He goes side by side with the 88 of Josh Wells, easily getting by him. Oh no, and it looks like spinning out down there is the 12 of Jack Schubert. We've got carnage all over the race course as the young driver out of Richmond, Texas, running for Ace Hardware, is dead in the water down in the south end of the course. Another one down here in Texas Tri-Hall.
Oh my gosh, this has been one heck of a final. 20 enduring laps. We have 5 laps remaining. Grant Schubert in the number 13. Halfway down that backstretch is your leader, followed by the number 10 of Tanner Rinker of Rinker Boat World.
And as we come across the start-finish line here, looks like the 26 of Briston Sherman got by the 1 of Corey Walker and moved up into 3rd position. What a fantastic run for the Ray Bob seasoning sponsored entry. But there's the 10 of Tanner Rinker. He's given it everything he's got, trying to track down our series points leader. And the man out in front since the beginning here in this Texas Tri-Hall main event, the 13 of Grant Schubert in that Captain Mark Seafood sponsored Texas Tri-Hall.
This has been one heck of a race. Grant Schubert has done everything he can to try and keep Tanner Rinker behind him. Tanner has almost, I don't know how many times he's almost barrel rolled that boat trying to get around Grant Schubert. It's been a great race for 1st and 2nd, but check out the race for 3rd and 4th between Corey Walker and Sherman. They have been going back and forth the whole time, and now they're going to go nose to nose into turn 1. We're going to see if we're going to be seeing some paint swapped in this turn.
No, it looks like the 26 of Sherman, great job there. He set himself up so he could go tight to the buoy but exit wide and keep those RPMs up, forcing the 1 of Corey Walker go down to the inside, and he has now completely cleared the 1 of Corey Walker and moved fully into that 3rd place position.
A great run right now as we're watching on our live stream. The number 13 is going to be Grant Schubert. Now he's coming out side by side with Neil Marsh. Now is Neil Marsh going to go wide? He does. I'm surprised. He's going to let him go through as they come across the start-finish line. And
he's not going to let him go through. He just wanted to keep the RPMs up so he could stay in front of him. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if these two tangled going side by side down into turn number 1, but the 17 of Neil Marsh down so much on power, he just wasn't able to hold him at bay down into the north end of the course there in turn number 1. The 10 of Tanner Rinker now going tight to the inside. He's trying to do everything he can to catch the 13 of Grant Schubert, and a valiant effort it has been so far. The question is will he have enough juice to get by our series leader, the 13 of Grant Schubert?
I have a feeling Grant Schubert sees that white flag and he says, you know what, I've lapped pretty much the whole field. I got one more lap to see if I can go ahead and lap the remaining other part of the field. But you know what, Tanner Rinker just jumped on the backside.
Not going quietly. He is not going quietly tonight, ladies and gentlemen, here on the final lap. 2 more turns. Can the 13 of Grant Schubert hang on and win wire to wire here in Alton? Or will the 10 of Tanner Rinker snatch it away from him here on the final lap? Look at Rinker goes wide to the outside. Whoa. They go side by side, deck to deck, down the back straightaway. Will the 10 of Tanner Rinker win back-to-back series races here in 2025 after winning the Red River Rumble in Shreveport just about a month ago? As they go down into the final corner, on the inside it's Schubert, wide to the outside it's the 10 of Tanner Rinker. We're going to have a photo finish as they go down the front straightaway. Ladies and gentlemen, by a nose, winning the Alton Midwest Nationals, number 10, Tanner Rinker.
Wow, I mean, I've got goosebumps from that last lap. That was just incredible, and it looked like he almost lost it as he came across the start-finish line, but able to hammer it down. But here comes the race for the bottom parts of that podium, and it looks to be like Sherman's going to get it.
All right, as they come out of the final spot on the podium, we got a fight here. The 26 of Briston Sherman hangs on for dear life as we've been battling all day with Corey Walker, and rounding out the podium, running for Ray Bob, seasoning number 26, Briston Sherman.
What a great race. And you know what? If we can get our cameras down there, you can see everybody's giving a nice little hoot and holler over there, not only on the up here with our fans, but here, watch to see what we're going to see what Neil Marsh does. He might give him a little hose down, a little friendly hose down. Well, I'm going to make my way down there, and we're going to give an interview for Grant Schubert.
No. Tanner Rinker was our winner there. What a fantastic run by the driver out of Spring, Texas, a part of a large Rinker contingency here in 2025, but he had some extra weight on his shoulders here at Alton as his brother, the 37 of Mason Rinker, had to be shipped overseas by his employer, which is, I believe, Lockheed Martin, sent him to Malaysia and the United Arab Emirates, so the rest of his 2025 season is done, and Tanner's like, don't worry, bro, I got you. And he ran that thing with every ounce of effort he had in his body. And by 2/100ths of a second, the 10 of Tanner Rinker, it was able to get back around the 13 of Grant Schubert. He started on the pole. He spent 99% of that 20-lap main event sitting in second. But he bided. It was all about biding his time. He understood that all I got to do is be close and have an opportunity to make that one move. and he made that one move like a pro. Out of the final turn on the final lap by a nose, the 10 of Tanner Rinker secured victory here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. And this is totally going to throw the points in chaos because now he's won 2 in a row out of 3. The only problem is he finished 15th in the opening round after some technical difficulties forced him to watch from the sidelines. But he's got the checkered flag in hand. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear you one more time. Your winner here in Texas, Tri-Hall, running for Mastercraft, Sylvan Pontoons, and Rinker Boat World, number 10, Tanner Rinker. Well, he's going to make his way back down to the start dock and have a chance to chat with my partner in crime, Kay Myers. But, man, that is one of the best Tri-Hall races I have seen in a minute. The 10 of Tanner Rinker putting on a show for the folks here in Alton, Illinois, not giving up for an instant, not a moment, not a second, not 1 inch of that race course was he doing nothing but giving it everything he had out there, and he deserves that checkered flag. You know that grin is ear to ear. He didn't know how to win a Tri-Hall race, and sure enough, once he figured out how to do it, now he's got 2 in a row. He had his first win ever at round 2 at the in Shreveport, Louisiana, at the Red River Rumble. And he's able to get his second victory in as many races here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. We've got a new winner in Tri-Hall here in Alton. What a fantastic run for that young driver. He's got to be absolutely stoked inside the cockpit of that Texas Tri-Hall. They got a video camera down there. They're going to hop him out of that Texas Tri-Hall, and I can guarantee you there's going to be some loud noises coming from the 10 of Tanner Rinker once he gets on the start top. Big hug to Formula One driver and his father, Chris Rinker, who's got to be so proud of his son going back-to-back here in 2025. And now they're going to grab him and have a chance to chat with him. So I'm going to send things down to my partner, Kay, as she's got the winner of the Texas Tri-Hall main event, the number 10 of Tanner Rinker.
Rinker Boat World has definitely dominated in the Tri-Hall. Yet just a little bit ago, I interviewed your brother. He was so excited. He was like shaking. You were so excited. You jumped out and you were so quick to give hugs to your team.
Oh, I'm so happy right now. I fought hard to get to where I am right now, and it was a tough battle. Grant's a hell of a driver. Just want to thank the people of Alton coming out. It's an awesome race. Love it.
All right, give us your perspective and your feelings when all of a sudden coming down to that finish line, you took a nasty hop, rolled it to the left and to the right, and you looked over and said that checkered flag is mine. Grant Schubert sat in your rearview mirror.
Well, I really thought I was going over for a split second, but I stayed up and crossed that finish line first. Felt good.
All right, well, we know who's usually inside the cockpit of this number 10, and you know that he's up there listening. What do you got to say to Papa Jerry?
Thanks for the boat. Thank you for teaching me everything I know.
All right, congratulations. Tanner Rinker, Rinker Boat World, number 10, taking the checkered flag here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. Thomas, back up to you.
Thanks, Kay. What a fantastic run. Hugs are all around for the Rinker clan, and this might just be a foreshadowing of what's to come in Formula One. Could Rinkers go first in Tri-Halls and first in Formula One? We're going to find out here in just a little bit, as we've got one more race left on the docket here at the Alton Midwest Nationals, the main event of Formula One. 17 minutes plus 1 lap to crown a champion here at the Alton Midwest Nationals in 2025. Will it be the 52 of Chris Rinker, or could it be the 17 of Dylan Anderson? What about the 14 of Andrew Tate, or our defending champion, the 1 of Dustin Terry? So many drivers could find themselves at the top of this podium when they wrap up this 17 minutes plus 1 lap main event. But we're going to have to wait and find out here for just a few more minutes before we get underway with the final race of the day. So again, like I've mentioned before, get that tummy full, wet that whistle, grab yourself a Finnish long drink or any other ice cold cocktail or beverage to keep you cooled down in this muggy, hot Sunday afternoon here in Alton, Illinois. Swing by that merch tent, grab yourself a hat to keep the sun off your face, keep you from getting sunburn, or a great t-shirt from the Alton Midwest Nationals, or any other merch from the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Make sure you swing down there. Quantities are limited. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more racing action as we wrap up the 2025 Alton Midwest Nationals.
unbreakable spirit. When the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, lease a new 2025 Tacoma SR5 for $299 a month, or get 1.99% APR for 72 months on a tough new Tundra. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
If you've received a mesothelioma diagnosis or a loved one died from this cancer, call Simmons Hanley Conroy today. Asbestos exposure causes mesothelioma. Many workers were harmed because companies hid the dangers of asbestos. Today, trusts hold billions of dollars to pay mesothelioma victims and families, and you may be able to get some of this money.
Call Simmons Hanley Conroy for a free legal consultation. 1-800-972-6523. 1-800-972-6523. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
Seabolt Sports, world champion powerboat racing since 1939. Find more on the legendary Seabolt family at SeaboltSports.com. The City of Alton Parks and Rec Department, covering 14 different parks, over 1,400 square feet of parkland here in beautiful Alton, Illinois, putting together some fantastic programs for the great community of Alton. We thank the Alton Parks and Recreation Department. Max, downtown Alton. The Formula One Powerboat Championship Series official after-party destination for great food and cold beer, only 3 blocks away from the race site here in downtown Alton. Max, where there's always a good time just around the corner. Boy, what a fantastic final that was in Texas Tri-Hall. Boy, you know, we started off with the Tanner Rinker on the pole on the inside of row 1 and this rolling start here in Tri-Halls. And he immediately got clipped by the 13 of Grant Schubert, our series points leader, who was sitting on the outside of row 1. And they went down into that first pin K, and the 13 of Grant Schubert just hit that start perfectly. Got just by the 10 of Tanner Rinker and was able to shut the door on that first lap. And boy, he seemed to kind of run away from it from there, at least early on in the Texas Tri-Hall final.
Then they started to come up to a little bit of back traffic, and that is where I saw where Grant started to struggle just a little bit along with Tanner, but Tanner was able to close that gap. You know, it seemed like every other heat he'd kind of fall back, come back, fall back, go back. And so it was a great run all the way through that complete heat.
Absolutely. It was a very complete final, especially by the 10 of Tanner Rinker. I mean, the water, right? I think one of those factors that could have come into play is as the laps continued to be counted down, that water got rougher and rougher, and it seemed like the rougher the water got, the Tanner Rinker's boat, his setup seemed to handle that rough water. Now, he was all over the place, giving it everything he had out on the shores of the mighty Mississippi, but it seemed like his boat just had a little bit better attitude throughout the race as the water got rougher, and boy, he really started to close that gap.
He did, and I know that Rinker Boat World, that whole team works really hard throughout the off season and in between races. I know that they've been doing a lot of testing, and that testing has really paid off. Not only testing the setup, but testing, their driver ability. They'll sit there and they'll find like some rough water and say, hey, okay, kid, let's see how you do out in this rough water. Because once you come up to back traffic, it's almost unbearable to go through there because they're dealing with the rough water, but they're dealing with the rooster tails that are being thrown back at them by the other drivers.
Absolutely. Rooster tails are never fun, and it definitely can change your line on the race course. You're going to have to move to the outside when you don't want to. You're going to have to move to the inside when you don't want to. But that's one of the many challenges that our top drivers have to face if they want to secure a championship in the Texas Tri-Hull division of the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. And, I think part of it had to have been, what did the Tanner Rinker have to lose, right? He was already in fourth. He knew that he needed to gain as many points as humanly possible. He did exactly that in qualifying, and that's why he was on the pole on the inside of row one. And boy, throughout the race, he almost went over numerous times. I know one time in particular, I'm pretty sure that roll cage touched the water going sideways. He almost went over, but every time he was able to right it, and it seemed like just that extra, leave it all out there, let it hang, let it fly mentality was the biggest benefit to him throughout the race, and boy, it sure showed there at the end.
And we've been blessed with this great drone footage that we've had carried on to this year, and it gets better and better every year. And we watched some of the footage where they were over the top of these boats, and you could see their hands left, right, left, right, left, right. And it's like, they have to work out all winter long to be able to manhandle some of these tri-hulls, and then the chiropractor every other week, too.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely get beat up in there, but what a fantastic run it was for Tanner Rinker in the final corner on the final lap of this 20-lap main event here in Texas Tri-Hull. He makes his move. He goes wide to the outside. Hadn't been doing that all race long. Changed it up in the final few laps. Went to the outside in a drag race to the finish by a nose. The Tanner Rinker wins here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. That's back-to-back wins for the Tanner Rinker, and now he is absolutely in the conversation for a series championship. As we look ahead to 2 weeks, can he go three in a row at a new event in Marble Falls, or will he fall back in the 13 at Grant Schubert, make his way back up atop? We are going to have an absolute knockdown, drag out in Texas Tri-Hull for the rest of the 2025 season. Kay, I am absolutely excited about what's to come in Texas Tri-Hull.
So am I, especially after just that final heat just really got me going, okay, now what's going to happen? What are they going to be able to pull out of the prop box for the next race in 2 weeks at Marble Falls? And I know that Grant, he is excited that Tanner did so well, but he's not going to let go of that checkered flag for the next race.
Absolutely. Well, we've got the Formula Ones. Absolutely, and we've got some of the Formula Ones out on the water as we've got just a few boats in. The rest of them are going to get out on the water, and we're going to run 17 minutes plus one lap all the way to a championship here in Formula One at the 2025 Alton Midwest Nationals. So again, wet your whistle. Get some water in you. It's hot. It's muggy. Stay hydrated, folks. Grab yourself a Finish long drink and a bottle of water.
I walked by when I went to go get my T-shirt, of course, because I always have to get my T-shirt. I walked by that place and I was eyeballing it, and I'm like, you got some peach left over there? And he said, yes, we've got some peach because that's your favorite, and they're going to hold some for me.
Yes, absolutely. When we're all done today, I think I'm going to go over there and grab myself a peach-flavored Finish long drink. I'm excited to try it. Haven't tried it yet this weekend. But we're going to take another quick commercial break. Thank some of our fantastic sponsors here at the Alton Midwest Nationals, as well as our series sponsors that carry us throughout the 2025 season. We'll be right back with the conclusion of the Alton Midwest Nationals after this. All right, so 10 minutes.
I'm John Simmons. I'm an attorney and the founder of Simmons Hanley Conroy. I started this firm to help folks who've been hurt by asbestos. Over the years, we've helped thousands of families. In 2012, my own grandmother had mesothelioma. I understand the decision to file a lawsuit is a big one, so please call my firm at 1-800-988-1353. That's 1-800-988-1353. Thank you.
Moto Marketing Group, accelerating brands for over 35 years. From developing some of the most famous boat and race team graphics that look fast to websites that run fast. Moto Marketing Group is your one-stop marketing shop for branding, vehicle wraps, websites, photography, and print design. They do it all professionally for a great price. Check them out online at motomarketinggroup.com. Kuna Food Service. For over 100 years, they've distributed the highest quality food products while delivering superior customer service. When you put your trust in Kuna, you get a team that cares about your success. VP Racing Fuels, the official fuel of the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. VP Racing Fuels has been the fuel choice of champions for decades. Now you can benefit from VP's expanded line of performance additives for your boat, daily driver, or weekend warrior. Learn more about their ultramarine and explore VP's full product line at vpracingfuels.com.
From an early age, we race. It's part of who we are. It's in our DNA. For some, the need to keep pushing fuels our lives. At VP Racing, we pour everything we have into creating the industry's best products. For those who put it all on the line, whether it's the track or the trail or wherever you race, they say you can't win them all, but you can sure as hell try. VP Racing. Win every race.
Seaway Marine, the Formula Light sponsor here in 2025 on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, operates out of a 62,000 square foot warehouse that is packed with current OEM parts, aftermarket parts, and vintage hard-to-find parts. They ship over 100,000 packages all over the United States, providing same-day shipping on in-stock orders. Seaway staff is arguably the most knowledgeable in the industry. With decades of experience, Seaway prides itself in excellent customer service. Make Seaway Marine your first call or text for all your marine part needs. 425-412-4006 or online at seawaymarine.com. The city of Alton, located 25 miles north of St. Louis, Alton is full of history, recreational opportunities, and business prospects. Founded in 1837, Alton was the site of the final debate between Abraham Lincoln and Stephen Douglas. Robert Wadlow, the world's tallest man, born and raised in Alton, as well as legendary jazz musician Miles Davis. Find all the fun here in Alton, Illinois. Finnish Long Drink. It's nothing like you've ever had before. Backed by actor Miles Teller and professional golfer Ricky Fowler, the Finnish Long Drink is a sparkling refreshment made with real liquor with flavors such as citrus, peach, and cranberry. There's something for everyone. Find out why everyone's obsessed with the Finnish Long Drink today. Mercury Racing, proud to introduce the Apex platform of engines and the 250 APX competition outboard to Formula One Powerboat Championship Racing. This new 4.6-liter V8 model offers added torque and acceleration to take race teams to the next level. Let's welcome Mercury Racing 250 APX to the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series.
For over 3 decades, one engine ruled the waters. The shriek of the Mercury 2.5-liter V6 two-stroke became the soundtrack of speed, precision, and dominance. From dock to podium, the two-stroke was king. The time waits for no legend. In 2025, the tides are shifting. Enter the Mercury APX 250, a 4.6-liter V8 four-stroke powerhouse built for a new era of dominance. With a series victory in 2024, is change already racing ahead? Will the veteran two-stroke reclaim its crown? Or is this the dawn of a new dynasty? As the battle at the top evolves, the action across the series is just as fierce. From the Texas Tri-Hulls, where raw grit meets unpredictable water warfare, to the Formula Lights, where the next generation of champions cut their teeth. And of course, the Formula Ones, 120-mile-an-hour ballet of precision and nerve, where the boats fly, the stakes are high, and only the bold survive. This is more than a championship. It's a revolution on water. This is the 2025 Formula One Powerboat Championship Series.
Right on the edge of the Mississippi River and right in the middle of the action. This city not only has a strong connection to the river. This weekend, it's not just the backdrop of the racing. It is going to be center stage right here at Alton, Illinois. This is stop number 3 for the Formula One Powerboat Championships here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. Set against the power of the Mississippi, this is not just about speed, it's about instinct and precision. Because the Mississippi doesn't just hand out wins, you have to earn them. Drivers are here doing over 120 miles an hour, reading the current, reacting to the chop, and adjusting on the fly. What works on flat water doesn't work here. You can't overpower the river, you have to outsmart it. And last year, no one did that better than Dustin Terry. His victory in Alton marked the beginning of a season-long rise that ended with the championship trophy in his hand. And now he's back, but this time he has a full field aiming to knock him off the top of the podium. The drivers are ready, the river is moving, and there is no margin for error. So get ready for the Alton Midwest Nationals.
Welcome, race fans, to the 2025 Alton Midwest Nationals. Thomas Yarbrough, they call me the Noise of the North, along with my partner in crime, as she is every race weekend throughout 2025, Kay Myers. Kay, good to have you here, and super excited for a fantastic race here at the Alton Midwest Nationals.
You know, I am excited to be here. The temperatures are rising, and so is the blood pressure in these drivers. They are excited to be here as well.
Absolutely. The mighty Mississippi is always a rough and tumble body of water, but who can master the shores of the Mississippi here in 2025? We're going to be finding out here in just a little bit. All right. Yeah, let's do that. Oops. Outlaw. Alrighty. All right, one of the most dominating teams in Formula One and Texas Tri-Hall is the Outlaw F1 team. They're deep, they're hungry, and they're looking to fight for every top spot on the podium every race week throughout 2025. Let's get a little bit more in depth with the team they call Outlaw. They call themselves the Outlaws, and it fits. On the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, where precision and pressure define the podium, these guys, they show up loud, loose, and ready to roll. It's a work hard, play hard mentality, and they live it to the edge. Wrenches spinning late into the night, engines firing before dawn. But when the sun sets, the party's just getting started.
So what it means to be an outlaw driver is, well, I guess now we're getting this reputation for racing hard and pulling off a couple wins here and there, partying hard in the evenings, and just a great friendship, man. We try to act big and tough, but I think everybody over here is a bunch of big teddy bears.
We probably party harder than anybody, but we work when we have to, and we are we stand by it. Outlaw 100%. We don't follow the rules at all.
A lot of work goes into it to get us here, but it's also a lot of work dealing with all these hooligans on the team. I mean, it's a pretty rough crowd sometimes. Everybody gets along great, and then we hit the water and we're all each other's worst enemies. I mean, we race each other harder than we race anybody else on the course.
But here's the thing, Outlaw F1 isn't just talk. They powered their way to the top of the standings. Fast, aggressive, unapologetic.
We seem to be doing pretty well all the way around. I think coming into this weekend, it was all four of us, where there was only one other boat in the top 5. So we're the force to be reckoned with right now.
We're living the dream right now, man, having a great time. We're 1 and 2 in point in F1. I think we're all in the top 5 in F1. Tahoe's doing great. Grant's leading that. I mean, we're the kings right now, you know, but only where to go from here is down.
Right now, they're sitting 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 5th in the standings. All 4 drivers in the top 5. Not a team in sight.
So yeah, as you know, we got punishments at the end of every race. So, I mean, if you come in last, you know you're going to get punished, and nobody really knows what it is till pretty close to the end of the race. So.
We always have the biggest party in the pits after we're done, and usually it's stuck around somebody in here working on a boat to get it put back together.
We're all hanging out, having a good time while we're working. It's like, it's what we do with our hobby. It's what we do with our spare time.
We're all competing, you know, to be in the top spot, but really all we want to do is beat the other guys on our team. That's the important thing when it comes to all of us.
And everybody's doing the best they've done yet, so kind of proud of them, and it makes it fun that we can go out here and battle each other. And I want everybody to be the best they can be on the team, because I want to beat my best friends. Like, these are the memories I want to have for the rest of my life.
Question is can this full throttle lifestyle carry them all the way to the title? Or will the edge they live on eventually bite back?
Well, what an interesting group of guys there over in the Outlaw F1 crew. They're deep. They've got 4 in each class in Texas Tri-Hall and Formula One, and it's funny to hear that they care more about beating each other than they do any of the other competitors on the water. But it looks like so far, for the most part, that mentality has carried them quite a ways, as they've got more podium finishes in 2025 than any other team. That might be from the fact that they've got such a deep roster of drivers, but they're always out there pushing one another, race in and race out. It's going to be fantastic to see what the Outlaw team can do through the rest of 2025. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we've got most of our drivers, if not everybody, lined up on the start pontoon here for the main event here in Formula One at the Alton Midwest Nationals. It's going to be a fantastic 17 minutes plus 1 lap here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. Oh, it's going to be an interesting race. Any of the top 5 drivers, I think, could find themselves on the top of the podium, Kay. Who do you got for the winner here before we get rolling here in the Formula One class?
You know, you're going to make me choose between these, because I have watched so many of these drivers just maneuver their way through some really tough courses and some great races, and especially here in Alton, you know, on the mighty Mississippi. We talked about it earlier, just basically, you know, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to take all of their names, I'm going to stuff them inside that 8-ball that you got going on, and I'm going to shake that thing up, and I'm going to probably have my wager right there, because you can't make me choose between these drivers. They're all so great. We have the best of the best here this weekend.
Absolutely. Well, I think after that fantastic run from the 10 of Tanner Rinker, I think that might be the extra juice that the Rinker clan needs to put the 52 Chris Rinker on top. But it's also a lot easier from where he starts. And with that, let's take a look at our starting lineup for the main event here in the Formula One class here at the Alton Midwest Nationals in 2025. On the pole, On the pole, the man from Rinker Racing, the number 52 of Chris Rinker, the real deal, running for Mastercraft and Sylvan Pontoons on the pole.
And I can see that orange poking out right on the other side of him. That's going to be the Argosy Casino, driven by Jeremiah Mayo in the number 8.
Sure. All right, we're gonna try that one again here. Apologize, we had a bit of a technical difficulty, but let's take a look at that starting lineup one more time here for the Alton Midwest Nationals. On the pole, again, the man running for Mastercraft Boats, Rinker Boat World, and Sylvan Pontoons. They call him the real deal, number 52, Chris Rinker.
Argosy Casino laid their bets on that number 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, sitting in second.
Third off the start pontoon. He had a rough start to 2025. Even though he won the opening round, can he get back into top form? He's running for Anderson Marine and Low Car Performance. He's out of Nashville, Tennessee, the number 17 of Dylan Anderson.
Winner of Heat 3 is going to be all the way out of Santa Rosa, California. Clover Construction brings you the number 24, Spencer Love.
And in rounding out the top 5 in that 5th position, he was your 2024 Alton Midwest Nationals champion. He sits atop the series points here in 2025. In the 5th position, the number 1 of Dustin Terry.
Right on his outside, Andrew Tate, going to be inside the cockpit of the number 14, Phenom Racing.
And right behind the number 14 of Andrew Tate, the 29 of Jared Jensen, and that Island Lake Marine machine coming 7th off the start dock.
Ontario, Canada, coming across the border, the 98 of Aiden Benton.
In the 9th position, another part of that Outlaw F1 team, running for JH Performance Boats, the number 99 of Travis Yates.
Once again, the Outlaw has brought out one more team member. That's going to be Grant Schubert, driving the number 13 of Marks.
The Captain Mark Seafood. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our grid here in the Formula One class. Coming up on the 1 minute gun, 1 minute drivers, 1 minute. Will the 52 of Chris Rinker be able to get off the dock like a rocket? Can he go wire to wire from pole position here at the Alton Midwest Nationals in 2025? 50 seconds, drivers, 50 seconds. Or will the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo come off the dock and beat everybody to the first turn on the south end of the course all the way to a championship? 40 seconds, drivers, 40 seconds. Or will the 17 of Dylan Anderson be the man who can come back from a rough start to 2025 and capture victory here in Alton? 30 seconds, drivers, 30 seconds. Or will it be the 24 of Spencer Love, the 1 of Dustin Terry? How about we crown a champion in Formula One here at the 2025 Alton Midwest Nationals? 20 seconds, drivers, you're under starter's orders. The flag is up. Oh no, the 14 of Andrew Tate jumps the start. And he's going to have to circle all the way back to last off the start pontoon. I guess that's what happens, Kay, when you're not used to those dock starts. Normally a rolling start behind the wheel of a hydroplane for the 14 of Andrew Tate. He got a little bit trigger happy there here on the opening start of the Formula One final.
You could just hear everybody all along the beach going, oh.
So
I think he's got a couple fans up here up in the crowd.
That's very possible. You see his crew now is going to walk their way back down to the end of the start dock. Everybody else is going to get shuffled up one position. He just made a long day longer for the 14 of Andrew Tate and that Simmons Hanley Conroy sponsored entry. He's got to be kicking himself inside that cockpit, Kay.
But you know what that does? That makes you fight harder. And we all know how Andrew Tate drives. He drives it to the edge to the very end. And I have a feeling that didn't just get him a little bit ramped up. That got him a lot ramped up along with his team. They're all sitting there on the radio saying, hey, kid, just calm down. Just calm down. We've got this. We've got this. He's got a fast boat. He's already proven that throughout the season that he has a fast boat. And with his aggressive driving, I wouldn't count him out. He may be shuffled to the back, but I wouldn't count him out. Same thing with Chris Rinker earlier. We didn't count him out. He came right up.
Absolutely. It's a long race, 17 minutes plus 1 lap. Looks like he's getting lined back up here, and we're going to go back under our entire starting procedure again. We're going to do another 1 minute gun. We're going to count it all the way down from 1 minute to 20 seconds, and then we're going to go back under starter orders once we get the 14 of Andrew Tate lined up in the final spot on the start dock. Waiting for word from Chief Referee Doug Ray to make sure everybody's lined up. He's got a perfect line of sight to that start pontoon, making sure everybody's lined up perfectly for the start of our Formula One main event here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. 1 minute, drivers, 1 minute. On the pole, the 52 of Chris Rinker shuts the lid inside that Moore Design Formula One from France. Can he bring victory to the Rinker clan here in Formula One in 2025, the Alton Midwest Nationals? 50 seconds, drivers, 50 seconds. Or will it be the number 8 of Jeremiah Mayo? Can he come off and get another victory in Formula One and move himself up one position in the point standings as he's looking up at the one of Dustin Terry as our series leader so far. 40 seconds, drivers, 40 seconds. Or will it be the 17 of Dylan Anderson? He won round one, but he lost the points due to a technical infraction. Can he get back on the top of the box here in Alton? We're going to find out here in just a minute. 30 seconds, drivers, 30 seconds. Or could it be the 24 of Spencer Love? He's really starting to get back into top form like he was in 22. Or could it be our defending champion, Dustin Terry? Let's crown a new one here in 2025. 20 seconds, drivers, you're under starters orders. The flag is up. He drops it quick that time. They come flying off the dock. Oh no, the 29 of Jared Jensen and the 98 of Aiden Benton get left in the dust. Great jump there by the 1 of Terry. On the back hip of the 52 of Chris Rinker is the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo. They go down into the far south end of the course.
Looks like it's going to be Chris Rinker's going to dive out of turn number 2 and bring them down the start-finish line. But look at how Mayo is just floating that Argosy Cruz, number 8. They got him 3 wide going into turn number 1. It's going to be interesting, boys and girls.
As the 52 of Rinker goes through the left-hand chicane down the front stretch, he's got Mayo on his outside hip. And look at the 1 of Dustin Terry. He is absolutely driving it like he stole it. He wants to go back-to-back here in 2025. He won in 2024. Can he do it here again? But he's going to have to get past his teammate, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, in that Argosy Casino-sponsored entry. But they're all right now trying to run down the man who's out in front, who sat on the pole, the 52 of Chris, the real deal Rinker.
Chris brought on a brand new sponsor this week, and he wants to make sure he gives Mastercraft that trophy at the very end, and he's got a sizable lead. But look at the race now for second, third, and fourth. On the outside, Dustin Terry. On the inside, Mayo. And here comes the number 17 of Anderson
as Anderson didn't get the best jump off the dock. Probably the 1 of Dustin Terry got the best jump, which is very surprising, Kay, because that APX 250 is not necessarily known for its starting prowess so far in the early years of the APX motor package. But for whatever reason, Dustin Terry has figured out that sticky wicket, and he came off the dock fantastically fast, and he's already up into third, and now he goes down tight to the inside trying to change it up and get a new line on his teammate, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo. But I have a feeling Mario's going to shut him down here in the chicane as they come down the front straightaway. Let's see what happens as they go down through the front stretch into the chicane in turn 1. He does exactly that and just chops off the 1 of Terry. Says, hey, bro, nah, this ain't happening here on lap 2. You think you're going to squeeze inside of me? You got a long day ahead of you, brother. As now the 1 of Terry looks through, and he's got a right rear view mirror full of the 17 of Dylan Anderson on his outside hip as they go down through turn number 4. Now that hard turn 5 down at the south end of the course. This is the make or break turn as we've seen all weekend long. And boy, the 1 of Terry has a great run out of the corner and is able to gain a little bit of ground over the 17 of Dylan Anderson.
What a great turn they had. They got a little close, but they were able to maneuver through turn number 3 and 4, make their way down the start-finish line. But those two are nose to nose, both of them trying to stay on the top of the podium. We talked about this earlier, how Dustin Terry's got the disadvantage of no cowling on the back. Took a big gulp of water on lap 2. Now he's going to be able to try and fight through and be able to keep Anderson on his back corner.
Yeah, what's amazing, right, is you saw the 1 of Dustin Terry all over the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo on lap 1. Well, where's Mayo now? He's right there, got about 5-6 boat lengths. He's pulled away from the 1 of Terry, but the problem for the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo is he's looking at 15-20 boat lengths between him and the 52 of Chris Rinker. If you remember, this happened in round 2 in Shreveport. Rinker was way out in front, had a power steering failure, had to reset the power steering system, went dead in the water due to it, and lost and gave up that top spot on the box at the Red River Rumble. And he's no way he's going to let that do it again. Now, I believe they have moved that power steering switch on the dashboard of the 52 of Chris Rinker, and let's hope that's the one thing change that's going to drive him all the way to victory here in round 3.
Each weekend they have a lesson learned, and that was his lesson learned. They moved that switch around, and that has paid off for him. He has got a huge lead as he makes his way out of turn number 3, followed by the Argosy Casino, the number 8, Jeremiah Mayo, and it looks like Dustin Terry starting to stretch his lead out over Dylan Anderson of Anderson Marine. You know, like I said, he's got that disadvantage. The boat is riding and handling just a little bit different than it was earlier when he had the cowling on the back, but he's doing a fabulous job holding on to that third place position.
Absolutely. 13 minutes, 23 seconds plus 1 lap remaining. The 52 of Rinker finally putting our first boat a lap down. That's the 98 of Aiden Benton in the Altonized Federal Credit Union sponsored entry. He's pushing hard out there, but the 52 of Chris Rinker is on a whole other level, and he's just got to maintain. This is exactly where the 24 of Shelby Love was in our Formula Lights final, and she made one small mental error. This is the same spot we just talked about Chris Rinker was in. Can he at round 2, can he avoid those small mental errors that can be so costly in tunnel boat racing?
And exactly, and this is where we're going to find out if he's going to be able to mentally hold it together as they're coming up to a lot of back traffic. That means some choppy water, dealing with also the sun is reflecting pretty hard off of this water and is going right into their face as they make their way down into turn 1 and 2. So it's making it very hard for these drivers to navigate, and it looks like Chris Rinker is doing a wonderful job. But keep an eye back here. We're watching as Spencer Love's coming across the screen. He's now sitting in the 5th position, but he's doing everything he can to try and catch back up to Anderson, but he's got a lot of back traffic. He's coming up to Aiden Benton, our lone Canada driver, and we're going to see if Aiden's going to give him the inside lane, because he's also got right there, and you can see it in our camera, he's got Grant Schubert's coming in quick too.
Yeah, Grant's had an interesting weekend. He's in his backup boat. He was out in front in the 3rd and qualifying heat before he had an electrical short that almost caught the cockpit on fire. They were able to get everything fixed in between the final heat and this main event here in Formula One, and he's continuing to push the 24 of love. But right now we're on top of the number 1 of Dustin Terry, as well as
Jensen.
The 29 of Jared Jensen. He's now a lap down as the 52 of Chris Rinker and the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo are able to get by him. There's the 8 of Mayo. Now he's coming down into turn number 5. Comes off of turn 5. There you see the flash of our leader, the 52 of Chris Rinker. That gap has started to close just a little bit. I think this is where the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo really makes a lot of hay, right, in his racing style. He is fantastic at getting around back markers. So when you have that 38-second lap, he's going to be at 37.2, and if he can do that a few laps in a row, that gap is going to start to shrink. So as they get into the more of the competitive back markers, keep an eye on that bright orange and white Argosy Casino machine, because I think the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo is playing a game of cat and mouse, might be just sitting there waiting to pounce, but he's got to close that gap a little bit more before he can pull that off.
And I will say, just within the last couple laps, he has been able to do that, because Chris Rinker is having an issue trying to deal with turn number 3 and 4. He also had to go into it with Mark Tate right in with throwing a rooster tail at him, close that gap between Rinker and Mayo. Mayo's going to try and take advantage of it, but now that Chris has gotten around back traffic, he's going to start to haul through turn number 3 and 4, and now Mayo's going to have to deal with the back traffic of Andrew Tate and the Phenom Racing.
Absolutely. Obviously, I know that they had that motor torn apart and were working feverishly this morning. It looks like they still may be chasing some gremlins, even though he had that missed start there that put him to the last of the start pontoon. Definitely not at full RPM is the 14 Simmons Hanley Conroy sponsor of Andrew Tate. But I'll tip a cap to a veteran who recognizes that he's down on power and he's not going to get in the way. So he moved out of the way out to lane 5, let the 52 of Chris Rinker and the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo continue to battle. And boy, now let's pick up this other battle for 3rd and 4th as the 17 of Dylan Anderson is not going quietly into the night. He continues to be all over the 1 of Dustin Terry, and they have been getting through bat markers well. The question is can Dylan Anderson again find one of those little moments in time, one of those blips, one of those hiccups by the 1 of Terry? You're not going to get many of them. He is the defending series champion, so the guy is solid behind the wheel of a Formula One. But hey, to error is human. We all make mistakes. Can the 17 of Dylan Anderson capitalize on a mistake that the 1 of Terry might make here in this remaining 9 minutes, 22 seconds plus 1 lap main event here in Formula One?
Well, Dustin Terry's doing everything he can to hold off Anderson, but at the same time, he keeps hip checking a little bit, throwing that rooster tail right into the windshield of Anderson, basically blinding him as he comes around the corner. That is a very technical move that I've seen time and time again, and it is paying off, because I can notice right after he does that, it looks like Anderson might lay off just a little bit, and he says, okay, I got it clear, I'm coming back. And you can see he's got the top end speed. Anderson's got the top end speed, but as they come out of turn number 3 and 4, it all belongs to Terry.
Absolutely. There's the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo. He goes through the chicane down the front stretch, turn 1. Now he gets his way through turn 2. Now you see him flash on the backside, trying to catch down the 52 of Rinker. We go back to the battle that's for 3rd and 4th between the 1 of Terry and the 17 of Anderson. Anderson standing on his outside hip. I think that's a smart move, right? If he can continue to squeeze that heavier APX motor into that lane 1, that's not where the APX likes to be. It likes to live out in lane 2, lane 3. Heavier weight on the back of that motor makes it a little bit harder to get that punch out of the corner, right? To get that boat back up on plane after turning at that hard turn 1. And the real question is will the 17 of Dylan Anderson be able to stay close enough on that outside hip to continue to force the 1 of Terry to stay on that inside line 1? Now we go back to our leader, the 52 of Chris Rinker, continuing to pour it on here in this main event in Formula One. Gets it out of turn number 5. Now going so wide at turn 5, he's taken turn 6 completely off of the course. As you can see, he almost went straight through turn 6, crosses the start-finish line, another lap complete, and he has started to open up that gap. Now he's gotten by those back markers, Kay. That lead's starting to stretch out for the 52 of Chris Rinker, and boy, that is the indicator of a champion, somebody who is really ready to get that win. When they get the open water, they do what's necessary, and they stretch out that lead as far as they can because they know you're not going to get clean water for that long in a Formula One race.
Yes, and we saw it earlier where we had like a little bit of a spin out, and then with Rinker, and he was able to control it back, and he was able to bring himself back and widen that lead just a little bit more. But, you know, we're going to keep an eye on that Rinker Boat World as he makes his way through the chicane down into turn number 1. Starts to belly up on the backside of Jared Jensen. Jared's going to go to the outside. And, you know, Jared doesn't usually do that, but I think he's going to give him a little bit of he's going to give him a little challenge going into turn
Yeah,
number
he's not going to completely lay off the gas, but he's definitely going to move out to lane 2 or 3 and allow an opportunity for the 52 and Rinker to go inside. Is exactly what happens there down in turn number 4. Through turn 4 now, again, wide off at turn 5. Nobody wants to go tight to the pin out of the 5th turn. It seems to be a much slower line. Now we're overhead with the 52 of Rinker as he crosses the start-finish line for another lap. We're down to 6 minutes, 30 seconds, plus 1 lap here in this Formula One main event. Can the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo pull a rabbit out of the hat and catch the 52 of Rinker, or will he continue to run away with this Formula One main event? As we continue the battle for second and third between the 1 of Terry, as he's on the right side of the screen. On the left side of the screen, just seeing now, there's the 17 of Dylan Anderson. Boy, Dustin Terry's opened up a little bit of a lead over the 17 of Dylan Anderson. I don't know if he's going to have an answer for our defending champion.
I don't know about you, but it is warm up here. We have a slight breeze. Could you imagine the heat contact that's going on inside of the cockpit? This is definitely an enduro run. We do not do just a couple laps. They're doing like 30 to 40 laps just within this race, and they have got to be getting hot.
Absolutely. It is an absolute sweat box inside these Formula Ones, and they're just trying to make sure that the sweat doesn't run into their eyes, doesn't slip a trim switch, and they can stay on point, on the razor's edge here in this Formula One main event. As this, now the 17 of Dylan Anderson starts to close the gap again. I swear, Kay, sometimes I think these guys have our live feed piped in their ears. So. As soon as we start talking like, nah, he's not going to pull it off, here they come, and he starts to close that gap again. And hopefully, maybe we talk about the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo. He might do it as well. But that battle between for third and fourth is fantastic between the 17 of Dylan Anderson and the 1 of Dustin Terry. We got great overhead shot there. Look at the 17 of Anderson. He's closed it down now to about a boat length and a half, whereas 2 laps ago it was almost 4 full boat lengths.
Yeah, he's charging hard, and I believe that Anderson was able to make a move one in that back stretch. I saw
look at there. No.
Changer.
What happened there? The 1 of Dustin Terry gets absolutely washed down in the corner, and the 17 of Dylan Anderson blows by him like he's standing still. What happened? Maybe, just maybe, he got some water in the back of that APX with that missing rear cowling on the back of the number 1 of Dustin Terry.
Well, I really do hope that Jeremiah Mayo was informed of this, because now that Anderson was able to get around Dustin Terry, you know the speed that's in that Anderson Marine number 17.
Down.
Yes.
Absolutely. The 17 of Dylan Anderson's going to give it everything he's got here on the shores of the mighty Mississippi to try to catch the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo. He knows he needs a ton of points, and third place is not going to cut it, but he's got a long, hard task in front of him. The 8 of Jeremiah Mayo the 17 of Dylan Anderson trying to catch the man in second. There's a nice battle we got there going on, but is that the battle for 4th and 5th? Yes, that is now. Sorry, for 5th and 6th. That's between the 24 of Spencer Love and the 13 of Grant Schubert. They've been all over each other all race long as well. We've just had so many other fantastic battles that, boy, what happened to the 1 of Dustin Terry? Is he still out there? Oh, the 1 of Dustin Terry is dead in the water on the far end of the course. The day is over for our defending champion. He is dead in the water down on the backside. And, hey, you know what that means for Travis Yates, right? No punishment for Travis as long as he completes this race. So he's got to be excited about that. And so is the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo and the 13 of Grant Schubert, because now there's no stress, right? The outlaw team punishment is off the books for those 3 drivers and squarely on the shoulders of the number 1 of Dustin Terry, dead in the water on the backside of this Formula One main event.
I don't know. If you look down this front stretch, there's the 99 of Travis Yates, who's barely making it through this race. So
that's exactly why he's still barely making it through his race. He's here to collect some points. He doesn't care if it's 50 miles an hour. He's got to get those points to ensure sure that he doesn't get team punishment. And again, he's still in the fighting for a top 5 season standings finish. And so he knows, just like Devin Brown did in Texas Tri-Hall, stay to the outside, collect points, collect points, collect points. And that's what the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo is trying to do right now, because he was in second coming in. And now the 1 of Dustin Terry, our points leader, is not going to make it in the top 5. Could we have a new series leader after round 3? And could it be the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, or maybe the 52 of Chris Rinker?
I don't know, man. We still got just over 2.5 minutes left in this race, and we have seen a lot of things happen in 2.5 minutes when it comes to the Formula Ones. We were lucky enough to have one heck of a race. They gave us a great race for the second and third heat. Now this final, they are still giving all of our race fans a great race, but our leader right now, just coming across the start-finish line in that all-yellow Rinker's Boat World, is Chris Rinker, followed by the Argosy Casino, bright orange number 8, and your third place is just now coming across the start-finish line, Anderson Marine, driven by Dylan Anderson in number 17.
And I don't know if we're going to have enough time with 2 minutes plus 1 lap, but the 52 of Chris Rinker is coming up on that battle between the 24 of Spencer Love and the 13 of Grant Schubert. They're going nowhere. They are not going to give him a lane. They are not going to move to the outside. He is going to have to find a creative way to get by those two. And that, I guarantee you, in the ear of Jeremiah Mayo, his crew chief Mike Schubert is telling him very simply, go, go, go. Rinker's got to deal with Schubert and Love. This is your shot. Lay it on the line. You got less than 2 minutes. Give it everything you have, and maybe, just maybe, you can catch the 52 of Rinker. But it's still going to be a tall task here with under 2 minutes plus 1 lap remaining in this main event.
Exactly. Jeremiah Mayo is saying, this is what I needed. I needed Chris to get slowed down by some back traffic, and these two are deck to deck. They are not going to let Chris come around just so that they can finish this race in about 5th and 6th. But Chris is trying to thread the needle, but then he decides to go to the outside, which was a great move. Stay out of trouble.
Absolutely.
But look at how close Jeremiah is now. He has closed that gap just in that last lap.
Yeah, 1 lap, he probably went 8-10 boat lengths. Let's see here. He's now 3.67 seconds. Last lap, he was a little over 5 seconds back, so he gained 2 seconds. Depending on how many laps we have left here, it looks like, oh boy, 45 seconds plus 1 lap. So it looks like maybe the white flag might be coming out, and that, I don't know if that's going to be enough time. But how about the 13 of Grant Schubert just pulling away from the 24 of Spencer Love on the second to last lap, securing hopefully a 4th place finish for that driver from Richmond, Texas.
I don't know. Spencer Love and Chris Rinker almost on tag teaming coming out of turn number 2, but Spencer bring it back to his side. White flag is out.
White flag is out for the man that's led from the beginning. He started on the pole, looking to go wire to wire here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. The 52 of Chris Rinker goes wide to the outside of turn number 2. Now he's side by side with the 24 of Spencer Love. And the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo has absolutely closed the gap. Could we have a final corner finish like we did in Texas Tri-Hall? Let's stay with our leader, the 52 of Rinker. Rinker goes down into turn number 4 and 5. Sweeps through 4, now presses it wide off of 5. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear you put your hands together for the first time in his career, winning the Alton Midwest Nationals in 2025, number 52, Chris Rinker.
Followed very quickly is going to be Jeremiah Mayo of the Argosy Casino in the number 8. What a great run.
Absolutely, and rounding out the top 3 with another solid podium finish, running for Low Car Performance at Anderson Marine, the number 17 of Dylan Anderson.
Followed by Grant Schubert in that Captain Mark's boat. He is running his backup boat. We're in like 2 different setups, 2 different calls, 3 different everything. But he still did a great job finishing in 4th.
He still finishes in the top 5 as he comes across the start-finish line in 4th. Then it's going to be the number 24 of Spencer Love, who was running a fantastic race there till like the last 3 laps. I don't know what happened, but he really had to back off. Maybe the motor started going away, and he didn't want to not finish, so he backed off a little bit. He finishes in the top 5 in that 5th and final position. Then in 6th, it's the number 14 of Andrew Tate in that Simmons Hanley Conroy machine. In 7th, it's the 29 of Jared Jensen. In 8th, the 98 of Aiden Benton. And then in 9th, the number 99 of Travis Yates. And finishing last, your series points leader finished last in the Alton Midwest Nationals with a 10th place finish, the number 1 of Dustin Terry. Boy, what a fantastic race it was. Please don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We've got awards presentation over by the VIP area here in just about 15, 20 minutes. So stick around, wet your whistle, get some food in your belly, and get to see some fantastic hardware. Some fantastic hardware for all 3 classes here at the 2025 Alton Midwest Nationals. But right now, The man who went wire to wire is grabbing that checkered flag. He's up outside the cockpit. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. It took him a long time. It took him a couple of times of being his own worst enemy, but boy, that just makes this one that much sweeter for the 52 of Chris, the real deal Rinker, the Rinker clan, wherever they are, from Tennessee to Florida, Indiana to Texas. They're all at home or here on the shores of the Mississippi, cheering and elated for one of their drivers. Another victory in Formula One for another Rinker. That means that I have personally now been able to see 7 different Rinker family members win a race on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. I consider that a pretty cool thing to be able to be a part of. But man, am I so excited. The 52 of Chris Rinker finally gets off the schneid. He gets the monkey off his back and is able to bring home that first place trophy back to Spring, Texas. And here's the other thing. He didn't even race in the first race. He stepped out of the final due to a horrific accident from his 83-year-old father, Jerry, in Texas Tri-Hall. He made the right decision, the family first decision, to say, you know what? I'm going to go make sure that my dad is okay. Now, he wasn't right away. It was very scary and very touch and go for Jerry immediately after his accident. But by the end of the day, everything was in a much better place. But I tip my cap to the man for saying, you know what, family is more important than powerboat racing. So I'm going to step out of the cockpit and I'm going to go to the hospital with my dad. He did that, and that takes a lot of guts and that takes a lot of grit to be able to make that decision. That's a very unselfish move. What did he do? Well, he went to the next round in Shreveport, Louisiana for the Red River Rumble and would have won there if it weren't for a mechanical failure or driver error, one of the two. We'll let him tell you about that. And it cost him that top spot on the podium. Now, he still ended up on the podium, and he collected a ton of points. Well, he collected a ton of points here this weekend and went wire to wire to finally put the big W on the side of that Formula One. What a fantastic run for him and the entire Rinker clan. So excited for him. He has got to be absolutely elated as he unstraps that Hans device, unbuckles that 6-point safety harness, hands his checkered flag to one of his crew members, puts the hat on, and now I'm going to turn things down to my partner, Kay, for a fantastic interview with a wonderful man and an absolutely elated victor here at the 2025 Alton Midwest Nationals. Kay, down to you.
Okay, hold on. He's getting himself hosed down after he tried to hose us all down here on the dock.
That didn't work out so good, did it?
It didn't work out so good. I was hiding behind the officials. You're not going to get the officials wet. You know, Chris Rinker, let's recap this weekend just a little bit. It has been filled with so much up and down, so much trial and trouble. You know, you blew up a motor Friday. You blew up another one Saturday, went to the third best motor, and, you know, you won a heat, and now you're winning right here.
Oh, I mean, my team definitely put me back up on top. I mean, we had a lot of trials and tribulations, a little bit of luck involved in everything, but, you know, I've got a great team. Want to thank Mastercraft, Sylvan Pontoon Boats, let's see, Rinker's Boat World, the best team in the world selling boats in Houston, Texas. So it's been amazing, and it's my first win in F1 Championship Series, so hopefully that doesn't mean somebody's going to try to throw me in.
I would. You tried to get me wet over here, you know. But you know what this does mean? Do you know what to do with your hands during interviews?
I really don't know what to do with my hands.
Long-standing joke. You know, Chris Rinker, you have done an amazing job. Rinker Boat World, you have got a brand new sponsor up here at Mastercraft, and you have rewarded not only your sponsors, but one heck of a team that has worked so hard for you this weekend.
Yeah, I want to congratulate Tanner Ray Rinker for his victory, too. So that's 2 Rinkers on the podium. That's a first. So, well, kind of first. I think my cousin might have done it once or twice, but it's first for our Texas crowd, and we're really excited about Tanner's driving. It scared me to death, but he did a great job, and what a photo finish.
All right, congratulations one more time. Put your hands together for your 2025 Alton Midwest Nationals champion, Formula 2, Chris Rinker.
All right, what a fantastic run and what an amazing weekend. We started off with some rain yesterday morning, kept the day cool, but made things even trickier than they already were here on the mighty Mississippi. We had logs, we had wind, we had weather, we had heat, We had deck-to-deck racing. We had photo finishes. We had first wins. We had back-to-back wins. What an amazing weekend of racing here in the middle of everywhere in beautiful Alton, Illinois for the second annual Alton Midwest Nationals. Don't forget, coming up next in 2 weeks' time, if you can't make it from Alton down to Marble Falls, Texas, make sure you hop on YouTube, smash that subscribe button for F1 Powerboat Racing, and you'll get updated when we go live so you can watch what's going to happen in the next round, round 4, bringing us just northwest of Austin, Texas, to Marble Falls, Texas. You know, and we hope to give back to a lot of those communities that were heavily devastated by the recent flooding just outside the hill country of Texas and central Texas. So we hope to be able to give back to that great community. And if nothing more, give them a great break from all of the tragedy that they've dealt with. So we'll be there 2 weeks' time, August 1st through 3rd in Marble Falls for round 4. Then we take a month break and then head up to the foothills of the Colorado Rockies for round 5 at the Roar of the Rockies in Windsor, Colorado. And then, Kay, we finish up the season back in Houston, Texas, where it all began in this great state of Texas as they slug it out for the battle on the San Jacinto as we crown a champion in mid-October here later on this year. But, boy, what a run here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. What a fantastic weekend of racing.
You know, we had so much close racing, so much deck-to-deck racing this weekend. It was like probably the closest that we've seen all season. Midway through the season, these drivers are starting to get their setups figured out, and they are starting to rock and roll.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for us here this weekend. We've got our podium presentation here coming up in just a minute, so you and I are going to have to head down there. But what a fantastic weekend has been so far.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now that you're going to love this factor of what happens in the Rinker boat world when they win. Oreos all the way around. If they win, they get Oreos. So you're going to get yourself some Oreos over there up on that podium.
I didn't win anything, but
no,
you know
I'm
what?
Sure they'll share.
Oreos well-deserved by the Rinker clan in multiple classes. It's been a fantastic weekend, Kay. As always, I appreciate the time we get to spend together, the banter back and forth. I think we make a fantastic duo, and there is no better Formula One Powerboat Championship racing in the world than right here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series.
You know, it's been a pleasure, Thomas, and I can't wait for 2 more weeks from now when we're going to see it all and do it all over again.
Absolutely. All right, we'll see you in Marble Falls in a couple of weeks. Unless you're here, we'll see you in just a few minutes as we're going to give away some well-deserved hardware here at the 2025 Alton Midwest Nationals after a brief word from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the awards presentation.
I'm John Simmons. I'm an attorney and the founder of Simmons Hanley Conroy. I started this firm to help folks who've been hurt by asbestos. Over the years, we've helped thousands of families. In 2012, my own grandmother had mesothelioma. I understand the decision to file a lawsuit is a big one, so please call my firm at 1-800-988-1353. That's 1-800-988-1353. Thank you.
Moto Marketing Group, accelerating brands for over 35 years. From developing some of the most famous boat and race team graphics that look fast to websites that run fast. Moto Marketing Group is your one-stop marketing shop for branding, vehicle wraps, websites, photography, and print design. They do it all professionally for a great price. Check them out online at motomarketinggroup.com. Kuna Food Service. For over 100 years, they've distributed the highest quality food products while delivering superior customer service. When you put your trust in Kuna, you get a team that cares about your success. VP Racing Fuels, the official fuel of the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. VP Racing Fuels has been the fuel choice of champions for decades. Now you can benefit from VP's expanded line of performance additives for your boat, daily driver, or weekend warrior. Learn more about their ultramarine and explore VP's full product line at vpracingfuels.com.
From an early age, we race. It's part of who we are. It's in our DNA. For some, the need to keep pushing fuels our lives. At VP Racing, we pour everything we have into creating the industry's best products. For those who put it all on the line, whether it's the track or the trail or wherever you race, they say you can't win them all, but you can sure as hell try. VP Racing. Win every race.
Seaway Marine, the Formula Light sponsor here in 2025 on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, operates out of a 62,000 square foot warehouse that is packed with current OEM parts, aftermarket parts, and vintage hard-to-find parts. They ship over 100,000 packages all over the United States, providing same-day shipping on in-stock orders. Seaway staff is arguably the most knowledgeable in the industry. With decades of experience, Seaway prides itself in excellent customer service. Make Seaway Marine your first call or text for all your marine part needs. 425-412-4006 or online at seawaymarine.com. The city of Alton, located 25 miles north of St. Louis, Alton is full of history, recreational opportunities, and business prospects. Founded in 1837, Alton was the site of the final debate between Abraham Lincoln and Stephen Douglas. Robert Wadlow, the world's tallest man, born and raised in Alton, as well as legendary jazz musician Miles Davis. Find all the fun here in Alton, Illinois. Finnish Long Drink. It's nothing like you've ever had before. Backed by actor Miles Teller and professional golfer Ricky Fowler, the Finnish Long Drink is a sparkling refreshment made with real liquor with flavors such as citrus, peach, and cranberry. There's something for everyone. Find out why everyone's obsessed with the Finnish Long Drink today. Mercury Racing, proud to introduce the Apex platform of engines and the 250 APX competition outboard to Formula One Powerboat Championship Racing. This new 4.6-liter V8 model offers added torque and acceleration to take race teams to the next level. Let's welcome Mercury Racing 250 APX to the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series.
Racing Communications. They're radios for racing.
Enjoy Illinois. From urban excitement and outdoor adventures to delicious food and fascinating history, Illinois is an iconic destination with something for everyone. Throughout all the regions, you can explore the diversity of experiences in Illinois, right in the middle of everything. Munganast Toyota, right here in Alton. Dear summer, ready to get your adrenaline pumping? Toyota's 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive max out the fun. So find yours and get going. Toyota, let's go places.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend.
Toyota trucks. Right now, lease a new 2025 Tacoma SR5 for $299 a month or get 1.99% APR for 72 months on a tough new Tundra. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
If you've received a mesothelioma diagnosis or a loved one died from this cancer, call Simmons Hanley Conroy today. Asbestos exposure causes mesothelioma. Many workers were harmed because companies hid the dangers of asbestos. Today, trusts hold billions of dollars to pay mesothelioma victims and families, and you may be able to get some of this money.
Call Simmons Hanley Conroy for a free legal consultation. 1-800-972-6523. 1-800-972-6523. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
Seabolt Sports, world champion powerboat racing since 1939. Find more on the legendary Seabolt family at SeaboltSports.com. The City of Alton Parks and Rec Department, covering 14 different parks, over 1,400 square feet of parkland here in beautiful Alton, Illinois, putting together some fantastic programs for the great community of Alton. We thank the Alton Parks and Recreation Department. Max, downtown Alton, the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series official after-party destination for great food and cold beer, only 3 blocks away from the race site here in downtown Alton. Max, where there's always a good time just around the corner. Check, check. Hey, hey. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if I could have everybody make their way down to right in front of the VIP area, we're going to be giving away some well-deserved hardware here at the Alton Midwest Nationals in 2025. What a fantastic weekend of racing we had here. In just a couple of minutes, we're going to be giving away all 3 positions for all 3 classes here right outside the VIP area. So make your way down here in just a couple of minutes. Hey.
Take all the waters out. Oh, they come with hats this time?
Oh, yeah, I don't need it. Yeah, appreciate it. But that's the first thing I did. The last thing I did before I left the judges stand, I rattled off top 3 and all 3 to Lindsay, and she's like, "You're correct."
Maybe today. Maybe today.
So what did you run with? Like no. All right, race fans. Let's make our way down here to the awards presentation here for round 3 of the 2025 Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Boy, we had some battles all weekend long in all 3 classes. We saw a driver get penalized and still win. We saw a overtake on the final corner of the final lap. And we saw a first ever win in F1. What a fantastic weekend it was here in beautiful downtown Alton, Illinois. Big shout out to all our fantastic sponsors here for the Alton Midwest Nationals. Kuna Food Distributor, Munganast Toyota and the great folks at Toyota Motor Company. Rivers and Routes, the City of Alton, Enjoy Illinois, Altonized Federal Credit Union, the Alton Parks and Rec, and of course, Simmons, Hanley, Conroy. What a fantastic law firm and what a great partner they've been here through 2 years. We look forward to them being a partner of ours and the Midwest Nationals for many years to come. Again, if you had a great time here this weekend and you'd like to get a more local publicity here at the 2026 Alton Midwest Nationals, make sure you contact the City of Alton, Rivers and Routes, and they'll point you in the right direction to get in contact with Series Director Tim Siebold. What a great way to promote your business and be a part of a fantastic family-friendly event here in its 2nd year. Hoping for many more to come. We will definitely be back in 2026, and I ask all of you folks here in this great city of Alton, make sure we're here for many, many years to come. I can assure you from communities that have seen tunnel boat racing for over a decade, every year the race continues to grow, the event gets bigger, and you want to be inside those events on the ground floor. Not only will it cost you more money if you get in late, but you're also not going to get one of those primo sponsors like Simmons Hanley Conroy or Rivers and Routes or the City of Alton. So make sure you get in line to sponsor the 2026 Alton Midwest Nationals. Where are you at, Tim? I'll hold the back. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready to give away some well-deserved hardware here? All right, if I could have everybody gather around, we're going to start things off with the Formula Lights class. What a fantastic race and a fantastic weekend of racing here in Formula Lights we had at the 2025 Alton Midwest Nationals. This driver who finished in third place here in Formula Lights came out of nowhere. He was a part of a collision on Saturday, and he was struggling. But he spent time Saturday night. He got that thing dialed in. And that black and white number 91 was cruising on Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in his career, your third place finisher in Formula Lights, number 91, James Klein. Well, Mr. Klein, this is the first time we've got to be able to do this with one another. How does it feel to come down here to the Alton Midwest Nationals in 25 and bring some home hardware back to Michigan?
Oh, it feels great. We were working on all the Michigan guys day and night for the last week, getting stuff together, and we're just pushing hard. We're trying to get it 2/10 at a time, just keep faster and faster, and I think we'll be all good for the next one.
Well, fantastic, man. It's got to feel good to bring some hardware back. You busted your butt all weekend long and all week before getting here. Well-deserved, sir. Enjoy it. Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher, number 91, James Klein. All right, in second place, he wanted to drive his new boat this weekend, but it wasn't quite dialed in. So he brought the old trusty number 12 out again, the red and white. It's multicolored. It's got some orange. It's got some white. It's got some green. But more importantly, it's got Clover construction on the side. Your second place finisher in Formula Lights, number 12, Triton Schleicher. Well, sir, we've done this a couple of times before, but 2025 maybe not been as good as it has been in years past, but it's still got to feel good to be here in that second spot on the box here at the Alton Midwest Nationals.
Yeah, it always feels good to be up on the podium. Obviously, we like to win. We're competitive, but if you're going to lose, there's no better way to do it than to your own teammates. So 1 and 2 again. We're just going to keep it rolling.
Well, I'd imagine before the next race here in a couple of weeks' time, there might be a few more laps under the belt in that brand new, more Formula Light coming in for the next race. See if you can maybe knock her off that top spot.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be trying to get it going, and when we get there, you'll see it on the water.
Fantastic, man. Well, hey, enjoy it. Congratulations on another solid podium finish and more points collected towards, hopefully, another battle for the season championship for you.
Yeah, we're going to try our best to stay up there, but I'd just like to thank everybody, our whole team, all the series sponsors, Tim, John, everybody who makes this happen. And I don't know, without my team as a whole, we don't end up here.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your second place finisher, number 12, Triton Schleicher. Well, this next driver has been putting on a show this year, that's for sure. She spent 2024 spinning around in circles. She spent 2020 trying to figure out what it's like to be a boat race driver, and it's all come together here in 2025. She has had a fantastic season so far, and this was probably the best performance of them all. She almost was her own worst enemy, penalized 1 lap for clipping a buoy. They had to stop the race. They put the buoy back. She went to last on the start dock in a rolling restart, and it still didn't matter. She ran wide to the outside all the way to the first place finish here in Formula Lights. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear you one more time. Your winner in Formula Lights out of California, running for Clover Construction, number 24, Shelby Love. You can set it on there for now. Let me know if you need some help getting up there when we're all done. I'll go down here. All right, well, Shelby, hey, it's got to feel really good, especially after what happened there mid-race.
Yeah, it was just crazy. It's all a blur, to be honest, but I just went out there and just knew I had to stay consistent and at least get points in the race, and ended up working out a lot better than I expected.
Yeah, 2025 seemed like that's been a very similar way your season has gone. Even though you're just fighting for points every time, it kind of comes out a little bit better than you were expecting it to.
Yeah, even the last couple weekends, I feel like I've been fighting problems. I did bad in qualifying and the heat races, and then won a final. And then in Port Neches, Mark passed me, and I had to pass him again on the last lap. So it's a lot of back and forth.
Absolutely, but it's got to feel good to make it a clean sweep so far through 3 rounds here in 2025.
Yeah, it feels pretty good, and I couldn't have done it without my team. So thanks to Clover and everyone else that comes with us.
Absolutely. Well, hey, I'm going to let you go. You enjoy this because you deserved it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 3-time winner back-to-back here in 2025, taking the Alton Midwest Nationals Formula Light crown, number 24, Shelby Love. Ladies and gentlemen, the Formula Lights class. 3, 2, 1, douse 'em. Oh, dang, they almost got me that time. Oh, man. Never a dull moment here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, that is for sure. Well, this next class, I think, lost about 25% of its entrants during the final, which isn't a surprise considering we call it bumper boats at 65 miles an hour. But what a fantastic run it was. And we didn't get a whole lot of TV time with this guy because there was such a fantastic battle for first and second. But he put on a doozy of a show in his own right. On the final lap as well, he was able to get by and lock up this third place finish and get himself in the conversation for series champion in 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher in Texas Tri-Hull, running for Ray Bob Seasoning, number 26, Preston Sherman. Yeah, you're going to have to max that thing out. There we go. Now it fits like a glove. Come on over here, man. I know you don't. I don't know you don't know what you're doing yet, but we set those down there. Then we have a conversation. Then you get to stand on the box. Boy, Briston, let's first talk about what a battle between you and the one and Corey Walker out there in the final. That had to have been fun, eh?
It's probably one of the most fun trial hole races I've ever been in, just to race with Corey.
Yeah, you guys were all over each other, especially after that big wad up and down in turn 2 on like lap 3 when your teammate, the 69 of Waring, went out. It kind of cleaned itself up, and you guys had a 2-boat battle for that final spot. The podium seemed like every lap for the rest of the race.
It was tough. It was a little bit back and forth. Corey made a couple mistakes, gave me some ground back. Just had to take advantage of it and keep moving forward.
And more importantly, you didn't finish last on the Outlaw team in Tri-Hall. That's got to feel good as well.
Yeah, one of my poor teammates, Mullet, took himself out in the turn, so I think he's going to end up with a punishment after this one.
Oh, hey, that's okay, right? It's always nice to get some hardware, but as long as you're not getting that team punishment, it's a solid weekend for any Outlaw driver.
That is correct. We race each other harder than the rest of the course.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, man. Enjoy getting up on that box.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher, number 26, Briston Sherman. Now, this next driver would probably be a lot more upset with how this race finished if he wasn't on the top of the point standings for the season championship in Tri-Hall. He gave it everything he had, and he came about a third of a boat length short of being the winner here of the Alton Midwest Nationals in Tri-Hall, but a fantastic run. Running for Captain Mark Seafood, your second place finisher, number 13, Grant Schubert. Yeah, man, you're good. Boy, man, it had to have been a hard, hot, tiring afternoon for you running 2 classes here at the Alton Midwest Nationals.
I've probably lost like 10 pounds this weekend. It's crazy.
And boy, what a battle. Have you ever had a battle like that for that long in Tri-Hall in your career?
Man, that guy Tanner just wore me out today. I don't know what to do about him. I mean, maybe we'll get him in Marble Falls, but so far he's been winning a lot.
Yeah, he's got the last 2, but still sitting on top of the heap for the point standings is the number 13 of Grant Schubert. Things are definitely going to get shaken up below you, but it's got to still feel good, collecting some good points with a second place finish on the way to Marble Falls for round 4.
Yeah, the goal here is to just ride it out and hopefully come home with a championship.
All right, man. Well, hey, I know you're pretty worn out, so talking a whole lot's probably not going to be something you really want to do right now, so I'll let you enjoy this one. Congratulations, Grant.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your second place finisher, number 13, Grant Schubert. Well, I got to say, in all the years that I've been announcing a Texas Tri-Hall race, I don't know if I've ever seen a closer finish. His family had what a lot would call a fairly tragic event in round 1. And their family as a whole chose to put family in front of racing, which I commend tremendously. But boy, has this driver bounced back in the baddest, best way possible. For his second win in 2 races, ladies and gentlemen, your Texas Tri-Hall champion here at the Alton Midwest Nationals, number 10, Tanner Rinker. Oh, I like it, right? He's so proud. He's like, I'm just going to hold on to this stuff. Hey, man, how hard was that race?
Boy, that was a hell of a race. I mean, Grant was just running fast, and I was trying to track him down, and I finally got to catch up to him and get him in the last turn. It was a really fun race.
It's got to feel really good after all that patience, waiting for the right move to be able to find that one window of opportunity in the last corner on the last lap of the 20-lap main event, and you pulled it off by a nose.
Yeah, it was an awesome finish. I'm sure it gave my mom a heart attack a bunch of times, but it was an awesome race. I don't really know what. It was just really cool to be a part of it.
Absolutely, man. Not to mention that, but you've collected a ton of points. And with 6 rounds here in 2025, you got to feel a lot better about trying to hunt down the 13 at Grant Schubert. You did it here this weekend. The real question is can you do it come the end of the season?
We had a little speed bump at the beginning of the year, but I'm going to try my best to get on top.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, enjoy this one. This is 2 in a row. Maybe next race here in a couple of weeks, it might be 3. But for now, enjoy this one.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your champion in the Texas Tri-Hull Division of the Formula One Powerboat Championships at the Alton Midwest Nationals, number 10, Tanner Rinker. Ladies and gentlemen, the Tri-Hull class. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, douse 'em. All right, as we wrap things up here at the Alton Midwest Nationals, the premier class on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series is next, and what a race we've had. We have had fantastic races all season long. We've had 3 different winners in 3 different races, and I'm excited to bring this first driver up. He is the epitome of consistency. No matter the obstacle, somehow, some way, he always finds a way to get himself on the podium. He took out a gear case in the final qualifying heat, lost his best prop, and despite all that, he battled. And despite all that, he battled all race long and was able to get up into that 3rd place position. Ladies and gentlemen, your 3rd place finisher in Formula One. Out of Nashville, Tennessee, running for Locar Performance and Anderson Marine, number 17, Dylan Anderson. Yeah, I know it's not the one you want to go to, but hey, some points, right? Some podium finish is better than no podium finish. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. Yeah, we battled like everybody else did out here all weekend, and really appreciate all the guys getting the boat ready to go. I'm just trying to stay cool, hopping in and pushing buttons and going around in circles. So, no, I really appreciate them. Really appreciate all the sponsors getting us out here, and really going to need them after this weekend, trashing a couple pretty expensive motor parts. So, no, thanks to Elite Recreational Finance, Anderson Marine, obviously, Locar Performance, XS Power Batteries, and all the rest of the guys that keep us here.
Yeah, let's talk quickly about that. Qualifying heat number 3, you pull it out of the water and you damage some pretty important components of the power plant on the back of that Anderson Marine machine. Did you think you'd end up on the podium after having to replace such important components that close to the final?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of worried about it, but I don't know. At the end of the day, even our backup stuff's okay. Even our good stuff's okay. Just kind of got to get lucky and put it up there.
Yeah, you had such a battle with the one of Dustin Terry. His boat couldn't even finish the race. Had to feel good when he finally petered off the side and you cruised right by him, hanging on to that 3rd place finish.
Yeah, I wish he would have just broke a long time ago so I didn't have to work so hard to try and get around him before. But anyway, no, I like racing with Dustin and wish we would have been able to battle it till the end.
Well, enjoy this one. Some more valuable points. You're getting yourself back into the conversation after that round 1 snafu. And with 6 rounds, who knows? You and the 52 of Chris Rinker could be right there after this 3rd round going into Marble Falls.
Yeah, that's what we're shooting for. And hopefully we end up on the top spot of the championship. We'll do what we can.
Right on. Well, congratulations, sir. Enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher, number 17, Dylan Anderson. Well, this next driver, I will tell you, is probably the most prepared outlaw driver on the entire team. He's always ready to go, and he's always ready to put up a fight. He gave it everything he had for every lap out on the water all weekend long and came up just a few boat lengths short. However, he may have just collected enough points to catapult himself into the top spot in the season standings with a second place finish here at the Alton Midwest Nationals. Running for Argosy Casino and Ray Bob Seasoning, your second place finisher in Formula One, number 8, Jeremiah Get Out of My Way Mayo. Boy, it looks like we've got every hat size on the covered on the Outlaw F1 team, huh?
Yeah, I don't think it's brain power, though. Nobody on our team has a big enough brain for that.
Well, hey, man, good battle today. Obviously, you knew if Chris Rinker got out and got that clean water, it was going to be a battle all day. Looks like maybe if you had 5 or 6 more laps, it could have been a different story, but you got to feel good collecting some solid points, especially considering series frontrunner Dustin Terry ended up finishing in 10th place here in round 3. You might just find yourself on top of the heap going into Marble Falls.
Yeah, it's a bummer for Dustin. I mean, you know, we always want the Outlaws to do good. Like him finishing behind me, that's what it is. Hopefully he'll do it next race. He'll be back up here because Outlaw podium, we're about it.
Right on my way. It's got to feel good. How hot was it out there inside that cockpit? It looks like it was just a pressure cooker out there all day long.
Yeah, I mean, if you weren't moving, you're just sitting there getting cooked, sweat running into your eyes. I mean, it was terrible. So you wanted to move around as much as you could. Unfortunately, Tate jumped, and, I mean, whenever it did that, everybody, I think, sighed and was like, oh, man, we're cooking even longer.
Yeah, I think there was a collective sigh from not only you guys, but the fans as well. But you know what? All that sweat and all that hard work paid off with a solid second-place finish here and potentially a series lead heading into round 4.
Yeah, I mean, we got to thank everybody on the Outlaw team, all of our sponsors. Buy you some Ray Bobs. It's fast and delicious.
All right. Well, hey, congratulations, man. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your second-place finisher, number 8, Jeremiah Mayo. Well, I don't know. What do you know? We've been waiting a long time for this one, haven't we? Probably should have happened by now. But that's okay, right? The hard work and the wait makes it that much sweeter. He's had an interesting 2025. He stepped out of the cockpit for family in round 1. He had a power steering malfunction in round 2. But nothing was going to stop him here at Alton. He started from the pole. After going through 2 motors in testing and early qualifying, he put that third motor on the back of that screaming fast Mastercraft machine, and he ran it wire to victory. Ladies and gentlemen, your Alton Midwest Nationals 2025 Formula One champion. They call him the real deal, number 52, Chris Rinker. Hey, this is a new spot for us.
I've never been here before. This is awesome.
Well, hey, Chris, let's talk about the weekend. Obviously, it didn't start out the way you wanted. You lost a motor in testing. Then you went and laid out a second faster lap than anybody on the field. And as you were finishing the lap after you crossed the start-finish line, you lost motor number 3. How does it feel to put your third motor on the boat and still go wire to wire?
It's a little nerve-wracking for sure because you lose that one, you're done. So, you know, we went through a gear case. We went through one of our best props. I think everybody had some of that issue, but then going through a couple power heads didn't feel good. So we're really excited that number 3 kind of pulled through and made it through the end of the race. So
maybe number 3 is number 1 now?
Number 3 is number 1 now, for sure.
Well, hey, let's talk about it. It's a fantastic weekend for the Rinker family. You bring home 2 first-place finishes in the 2 classes that the Rinker family runs here on a regular basis on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Just talk about what it feels like after so many podium finishes, after so much hard work. What does it feel like to be here on the top spot on the box?
Oh, I mean, I've been looking forward to this for a long time. This has been a goal. Everybody's worked extremely hard to kind of get us there. I'm excited to see Tanner on the top of the box. That's almost got me more excited than anything, but it's been great. I mean, my team's worked extremely hard the last 2 races, really, 2 or 3, and you know, we're a contender in most races. We just got to get past some bad luck and a few things that'll keep us off the top.
Absolutely, man. I know it's been a tough year for the Rinkers in general. You lost John earlier this year. I know you wanted to definitely get a W while he was still with us, but I can imagine he was looking down, guiding you to victory here this weekend.
Yeah, I'd like to dedicate this race to John J. Rinker. I mean, that dude put me in my first boat in 1986, Mini Grand Prix. Gave it to me, and I ended up winning the Nationals that year and kind of got me in the passion for boat racing. And obviously we've had a lot of heritage in boat racing, but now we've got, I guess, 3rd or 4th generation racing. So it's awesome.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, I know you probably lost just as much weight as everybody else sweating out there in those heat boxes. I'll let you get up on the top spot on the box there. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your champion here at the 2025 Alton Midwest Nationals, number 52, Chris Rinker. The Formula One class. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1, douse 'em. We call that move the Tanner Rinker. All right, guys, grab them. As in tradition in the APBA, when you get your first in any class, you get dumped in the body of water. Well, the mighty Mississippi, moving at about 14 miles an hour, makes it a little dangerous. So the bucket of water doused on the top of the 52 of Chris Rinker, an honor that he's been waiting a long time for. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for joining us here for round 3 on behalf of Toyota and Munganast Toyota, Finnish Long Rink, Simmons Hanley Conroy, the City of Alton, Rivers and Routes, and all the other fantastic sponsors here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. I thank you so much. Good night. God bless. And we'll see you in 2 weeks in Marble Falls, Texas for round 4 of the 2025 season.